All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is Brother Mayum coming at you from JMS Tampa Bay. First and foremost, I want to give all the praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, and much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and this truth and sincerity. And I just want to do a quick video going more into the MOTB, more updates, as we continue to, press towards the mark, and, things are becoming more evident that the things that we've been taught, all right, that we've continued in, all right, going, to our apostles and their elders, that the MOTB, okay, which is spoken of in Revelation 13 is nigh at the door. And it's not what a lot of these guys, some of these Hebrew Israelites are saying that it's sin. All right, you got some that say it's an embargo. All right, you got some that say that it's more than an RFID microchip. All right, what's getting ready to come to the earth, okay, that's gonna cause those that, let me get the verse real quick. Revelation 13 causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And what's going to come on the earth in that form is going to be through an RFID microchip. Okay, a form of biometric identification, which is going to be embedded underneath the skin of the user. Okay, which, I use the word user because in one of Bill Gates's patents for the systems, for this biometric system that he has, it identifies the receiver inside of someone as a user. Okay, so, we know that this 5G network and the Internet of Things is going to be the information highway, all right, to carry the information in real time, so that as one goes to enter into a particular country or a particular store, you're pinged automatically, and the system recognizes you as the one going into the country or going into the store and buying this and buying that. Okay. And so I just want to go into this quick article here that I came across entitled "Europe Plans to Introduce New Biometric Passport System," and also Japan set to introduce new entry system for foreign tourists. All right, in Europe, being a part of the beast system, all right, the NATO EU nations, all right, it's of no surprise that they're coming out with these new systems. All right, and according to this article, is going to start in the 10th of November of this year. Okay, which is, it's saying that it's already in the final testing stages. So, this thing is just right around the corner. The systems are already in place, and this devil is doing exactly what he needs to do to bring about that great wrath that the scriptures speak about him bringing on the earth. Okay. So let me read a little bit of this article, and then we're going to go back to that Revelation 13. Well, matter of fact, before we get that Revelation 13 or the article, let's get this Revelation 13 and get a few words prior to reading this. Okay. Because as we've been saying, as our apostles and elders have been saying for years, and we continue to follow these things, this is, well, let's just get the word. This is a system. Okay. This is a program that's going to be within this RFID microchip. Okay, it's going to be put inside of you, and it's going to have loads of information. It's going to be used to connect you to everything. Okay, and as we've seen the years go by, all right, everything's become more and more digital. All right, everything's being put onto the internet or being connected electronically. Okay. So in Revelation 13 and 16, the word there for mark. All right, I'll read it again. Revelation 13 and 16, and he causes all, both small and great, and rich. So like he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. Okay, so pretty much everyone, man. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So it don't matter who you are, man. You can be Joe Schmo at McDonald's flipping burgers, or you can be, Donald Trump, or whoever. Okay, you can be the one of the homeless downtown, or you can be Bill Gates, you know, somebody with a lot of money. All right, it doesn't matter who you are; they're gonna cause all right, or lead to because you see, as things have been moving and changing to this digital world, things are becoming harder to do things without the internet. Okay, which there's been plenty of examples of what would happen. If the internet was to shut down, everything would pretty much collapse. Okay, within hours. Okay, systems would completely crash. Businesses would not be able to function. Societies wouldn't be able to function, all because one single thing known as the internet crashes down. So, as everything continues to become more in tune with the internet, all right, everything being digital, all right, everyone's kind of being led and forced to become a part of this new digital frontier, this new digital world. Okay, even your credit cards, your phones, your TVs, your what's it called, the little AC module, for your home, your laundry, your washing machine, your dryers, your microwaves, everything can be now connected into the internet. Okay, hell, your damn doors, your locks on your doors, man, they can be programmed onto the internet. Okay, so everything pretty much in today's time that we live in today in 2024, man, is everything is pretty much digitized. Everything has an electronic footprint that it leaves and that is connected to. Okay, so it said, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So let's get that word there in the Greek for the word mark, and this is in the Blue Letter Bible. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, okay, I would suggest you get familiar with it, because it helps you further understand particular words, because we know that the scriptures were not written in English. Okay, so it says the word there for mark in the Greek is charagma or charagma. All right, it's G5480, and it means a stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge. All right, keyword badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Now we know that there's more than one Antichrist, but Esau Edom, particularly Esau Edom, still puts that in there, which an Antichrist is anyone who's against the Messiah, anyone who's contrary to it. Which, if you get this badge imprinted in you, right? You get this badge put inside you, you have effectively become an Antichrist. You have become anti-Messiah. And I'm going to show you why. Let's get this word badge. All right, let's get to an online etymology. A badge, it's a noun, and it means, and again, this is the etymology of the word badge, which, again, if you're not familiar with what etymology is the study of words, the study of the origin of words. All right, so badge says token worn to indicate the wearer's occupation, preference, etc. It says especially device worn by servants or followers to indicate their allegiance. You see, which is the sense of what this MOTB is. All right, what this mark is a badge. It indicates your allegiance and to who you're aligned with. All right, which you getting this MOTB, the mark of the beast. All right, you're effectively becoming a follower or a servant of the beast. All right, of this devil, of Satan himself. Okay, which makes you and Antichrist. You're against the Messiah because now you've chosen the left-hand side rather than the right-hand side. All right, so continuing on the outline of biblical usage for this word charagma, it says the mark branded upon horses, things carved, sculptured, graven work of idolatrous images. All right, but we get the point. Now, down here in the Strong's definition for the word charagma, it goes in a little bit further. So let's get this word or the definition for it in the Strong's. It says a scratch or etching, i.e. a stamp, as a badge of servitude or sculptured figure, statue, graven mark. Now, let's go in and get a couple of these words. All right. And this is, again, man, this is how you get better understanding, man. This is what the apostles have shown us, is to go into the meaning of words. Okay. Go into the history. Go into things, man. Because just reading scriptures for face value, a lot of times you miss the meaning, which is what the Christian church does, the Catholic church does. Okay. So let's get this word here for scratch, because it said a scratch for the word there, charagma. Let's get the etymology of the word scratch. All right. It says scratch from the 14th century. Transitive mark or wound slightly on the surface by a scraping or tearing action with something rough, sharp, or pointed. Probably a fusion of Middle English scretin and cratchen, both meaning to scratch, both of uncertain origin. Okay, so it said a scraping or tearing action with something rough, sharp, or pointed. Now, this RFID microchip that's going to be implanted inside of you, what way do you think that is going to be put inside of you? It's not going to be put in by hand. This thing is tinier than a grain of rice. Okay, so to get it into its proper position in your hand, okay, how do you think they're going to implant it? Through a needle, man. Okay, and first and foremost, you know, that tearing happens on your skin when that needle pierces it, man. Okay, a mark or wound slightly on the surface by a scraping or tearing action. Okay, so what do they do once they pull that needle out? Is they put a little piece of gauze to cover, you know, to soak up the little bit of blood that comes out. Why is there blood coming out? Because your skin was torn into. Okay. Now it said or etching or stamp. Okay. Let's get this word etching. To etch. It says to engrave by eating away the surface with acids. To etch from Old High German azon, give to eat, cause to bite, feed. Okay, and it says cause to bite. What happens when an animal bites you, man? Their teeth go in and get embedded into you, man. Okay. So again, what is this charagma specifically? That needle, all right, the piercing instrument that they're going to use to implant this device within you. Okay. So now let's take it one step further and let's go into the root word of the word charagma. All right. And the root word of charagma is charax. All right. And it's G5482 charax. It says a pale or stake, a palisade or rampart, pales between which earth, stone, trees, and timbers are heaped and packed together. So obviously, I would assume that, you know, people understand what a pale is, or a stake. It's a piece of wood that normally one end is blunt and the other end is pointed, which, you know, for those of you that are familiar with construction or even surveying, when a company goes out to survey a land, they lay down, you know, stakes around the property line, okay, to indicate this is the edge of the property. All right, and what do they do with those stakes? They hammer them into the ground. Okay. So again, going into this needle, and when you go into the Strong's definition, it says what? To sharpen to a point, akin to G1125 through the idea of scratching. And we went into the word scratching. Okay, say the stake, i.e., by implication, a palisade or rampart, military mound for circumvallation in a siege, a trench, which we know that in Luke 19:43, when it said, "For the day shall come upon thee that thine enemy shall cast a trench about thee and compass thee around and keep thee in on every side." Yahushua, the Messiah, all right, Yahushua Mashiach, he was speaking about 70 AD. Okay, and what happened during 70 AD? The Romans came down. They eventually got down to Jerusalem. Okay, and they sieged Jerusalem because Jerusalem was a well-defended city. You know, you had high walls, you know, completely around. You had different stages within the city, you know, so to say. So you had the outer wall, you had an inner wall, you know, so there was various levels of defense to even be able to penetrate. So what the Romans did was they laid siege to Jerusalem and they built a trench around about. And when you go into the history, they actually built like a fence around the city. Okay, and what do you do when you know, putting in fence? You gotta pierce the ground, man. Okay, so what they did was they sieged Jake, the Israelites, all right, that were left in Jerusalem, all right, that didn't flee, that didn't take heed to the words of the Messiah, the warnings, and they ended up getting caught in there. They couldn't leave. They couldn't go get water. They couldn't get food, and there were attempts. You know, the Israelites that were in 70 AD, they were, you know, trying to come out through tunnels, you know, to go get water at night and food. But a lot of those guys were getting caught, man. And what they would do, the Romans would put them up on a cross for everyone to see from in Jerusalem, you know, from the walls. You know, so again, man, this is what the time period that we're getting ready to come into, because this time it's not a physical trench. Okay, it's not a physical siege that these devils are doing. All right, but what they're doing is they're compassing you about completely. Your whole life, you're surrounded by this digital frontier to that, so that when the time comes, they, you know, hypothetically, or not hypothetically, but they metaphorically lay siege upon you, man. Because once they cut you off, you're not going to be able to buy nor sell. You're not going to be able to get food. You're not going to be able to get water unless you have this mark, man. Okay, unless you become a servant of his. Okay. All right. And, you know, going into that, you know, getting put this trench about us, man, this is what this article is kind of going into, you know, because they're basically setting up the system. All right, which again, this whole biometric passport system is a part of this beast MOTB. Okay, the which is a part of the MOTB, Slovakia, and you know, this is going to be able to, as they state here in this article. Let me see where it's at. It says it is intended that it will replace passport stamps, which are currently used across European countries. However, stamps take time and do not allow countries to record overstayers. It says people who have stayed longer than they are allowed. The system will register the person's name, the type of travel document, biometric data, and the date and place of entry and exit. It says the commission calls the European the entrance exit system the most advanced border management system in the world, ensuring that travelers do not stay in the Schengen area for more than 90 days in any 180 days. That's written a little weird, but so basically they're coming out with this system which they call the entry exit system, you know, biometric passport system, to know the coming and goings of the people. All right, which again is a part of this MOTB system, man. Okay, a trench lead about a city, it controls who comes and who goes, man, and he can tell you can or you cannot go, which is the scriptures talk about this happening in the last days. Let's get this real quick. Second Ezra 15, and where is it? Verse 17. Second Ezra 15 and 17, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right. Again, you got to be a part of the system. You're trying to come into this town. We don't know who you are. You can be saying you're Joe Schmo. We don't know who the hell you are. How can we identify you? Well, you got to be a part of this system, man. Because again, the time that we're getting ready to come in is going to be a time of great calamity. So Esau Edom is going to set up a lot of checkpoints, a lot of entry points for particular cities, man. All right. That if you want to be a part of that city, or you want to be able to go into this city, to be able to go into the markets or to go to work, or to whatever, you gotta have this thing inside of you, man, to so that they could identify you. Okay. All right. So this is exactly what this devil is going into, man. This is what he's bringing upon the earth, man, and it's being made plain upon tables by the prophets of the Lord, man. Okay, if you still don't get this thing, man, then hey, man, you just can't be helped. Okay, you got very limited time to get with this, because if you don't, man, and you end up getting this MOTB, all right, the mark of the beast, this RFID microchip, hey, you're toast, man. The Lord got a great, it's like the Lord got a great judgment coming for you, which we're gonna get in the scriptures. All right, but one more time, let's go back to this word karax, which was the root word of charagma, all right, which is the Greek word for mark in Revelation 13. Let's go into the root word of the word karax. All right, it says root word from karazo, to sharpen to a point, akin to graphos, through the idea of scratching. So let's get this word grapho. It says grapho, this is G1125. And this is where the word graph comes from. And what is a graph? A graph is a diagram, okay, or a illustration of information shown to you in images. Okay, so whether it's a pie chart or a list or whatever, it's a illustration of information. All right, so it goes on to here to say the outline of biblical usage. It says to write with reference to the form of letters, to delineate or form letters on a tablet, parchment, paper, or other material. So basically writing down information. Okay, it says to write with reference to the contents of the writing, to express in written characters, to commit to writing, things not to be forgotten, write down, record, or record, used of those things which stand written in the sacred books, to write to one by writing, in a written epistle, to give information, directions. Okay, so this is what these RFID microchips themselves are gonna hold. Is gonna hold information. Okay, it's gonna hold content. Okay, which is gonna show you who you are, your social security number, your bank accounts, medical history, the levels of clearance. Okay, all these forms of identification that we currently have different forms of proving. All right, so if you have if you have a certain level of clearance to drive vehicles, you have a specific license that you have to have. You have to have for your bank accounts, you have a separate card for your bank accounts that links you to your accounts. Okay, so all what this RFID microchip is going to do is combine all those things into one, and it be put inside of you for security's sake, which is what the scriptures tell you, that when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. Okay, and again, what's getting ready to come, if you receive this MOTB, is judgment, man. It's going to be tribulation, trouble upon you. And let's get that real quick to prove that. Revelation 14:9 says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, all right, this new world order, this new way of living, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So you're going to be tormented, man. You're going to have to drink of the wrath of the Lord. You're going to have to swallow that pill, man, and be destroyed. Okay? And this is why Edom has been setting up things on the earth the way he has, because it's going to seem damn near impossible to go on living without this thing. For those that have no faith in the Lord, it's going to seem damn near impossible. Okay, but this is why this world is created for many, but the world to come for few, because there's only going to be a few that are going to fully trust in the Lord enough to push through, these tough times and not get this MLTB and not be a part of it. A lot of people are going to fold. A lot of people are going to try to resist and fight, and there's going to be a lot of conflict happening all over the earth, man, because of this, especially here in America, man. Okay, you've already seen throughout the years more and more freedoms being taken from these people, and we're at the point to where, people are getting ready to lose their minds, man. And as the apostles have been saying for years, man, when people have nothing else to lose, they lose it. And we're almost at that point, man, where these people really have nothing else to lose. I mean, you go through, every day, you go sitting in traffic, man, and just look at people next to you, man, in the cars next to you. Look at their expressions. I've seen more people in their cars driving in traffic crying this year than I've ever seen in my entire life, man. And I'm not joking. I'm not saying that in a humorous way to be funny. I'm being straight up. I'm being honest. Literally, people crying in their cars, man and women, stuck in traffic, man. Just going on, whether it's in the morning or in the afternoons, man. People are about to lose their minds out here, man. And when this thing fully gets pushed out here to the people, because it's been slowly getting introduced to try to program the minds of people to be conditioned to this new system, soon is getting ready to be brought to the forefront. And you're going to have to make a decision. And it's going to be basically life and death, man. Okay? Let me get one precept and we'll close out. Lord's will, I remember I put this article in the description box. Let's see how it was worded. All right, let's get this in Deuteronomy chapter 30. I believe this is it. All right. Salakia. Deuteronomy 30. All right, I'll start at verse 11. Read down through the end of this chapter, verse 20. All right, so Deuteronomy 30 and 11, it says, "For this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it afar off." And the scriptures talk about that thy teacher shall not be hid in a corner any longer, man. There was a falling away that happened where we fell away from the words of the Heavenly Father. We forgot, for the most part, but the Lord brought that spirit back onto his men to push his words out to the world again, so that this word would not be hidden from you. Okay? And that's what makes the Lord merciful, is that he allowed this word to come back into the world so that his people could get right, to choose life rather than death, which is what the world presents to you as death. But the Lord has given us the opportunity to come unto life, okay, through Yahushai. All right? So it says, "It is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven that thou shouldest say, Who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it? Neither is it beyond the sea that thou shouldest say, Who shall go over the sea for us and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it." Right, man. And this word has gone out through the four corners of the earth, man. All right, via the internet. That was the most beautiful thing that the Lord did, was allow this devil to create the internet. But you see, the wickedness of this devil is he knew he messed up after the internet was created, because you had these elites. I forget exactly which one of the these devils it was, but he said that the internet was the worst thing. It should have never been created. Pretty much is what, roughly paraphrasing what his statement. Why? Because information was now accessible throughout the whole world, man. People could, and as time has progressed, that information has become more streamlined. You're able to get information more quicker, okay, to the point to where 5 minutes ago a bomb was dropped off in somewhere on the other side of the world, and you're able to get that news here in America. Okay, so this word has been spread through the internet, man, and now you can't say, well, who's gonna go over to see? Because now you can just log on to your phone, your computer, whatever. You can go to a library, a cafe, and get information, man. You can get this understanding of this word. Okay, it says, verse 14, but the word is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. And see, this is what this word has done, man. The prophets coming out here, we've set before you life and good, and death and evil. This is what's going to happen if you serve the Lord. You're going to come into life, and good things are going to come to you, or you're going to die and evil is going to come to you, man. Choose you whom you shall serve, man. Okay, like Joshua told those Israelites, man, choose you this day whom you shall serve. As for me and my household, we gonna serve the Heavenly Father, man. Roughly paraphrasing, what was that, Judges chapter 10 or Joshua 10 and 24, around there. It says, verse 16, Deuteronomy 30 and 16, and that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy power, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and apply, and the Lord thy power shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. And this is why we strive to keep the laws to the best of our ability, man. We're not going to be able to keep them 100% here in these times that we're living in, man. The world is just too wicked. All right. The way that the earth has been structured and governed is completely contrary to the Lord, so that to do righteousness is looked upon as wicked. Okay, it's looked at as evil. Okay, in many different ways. Okay, it says, verse 17. It says, but if thine heart turn away, okay, which is effectively what you do when you get this. If you get this MOTB, is you're effectively turning away from the Heavenly Father in your mind. You're not trusting in your Lord. You don't think the Lord can deliver you. Okay. You put the God, okay, and who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. You put him into a box that they can't save you, and you put your trust into man, and you get his mark, his badge of servitude, and you become subservient unto him, just so that you can get a piece of bread that's gonna be tainted, man. Okay, it says, but if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other gods and serve them. Okay, going back to that badge, which is that MOTB. I denounce unto you this day that ye shall surely perish, going into the judgment of the Lord, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land whither thou passest over Jordan to go to possess it. This is 19, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live, man. And see, this is ultimately for those of you that are trying to do your best to serve the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. This is ultimately what we're doing, man. So that we're ultimately trying to choose life, to that both thou and thy seed may live, man. So that us and our children and those that we love may live, man. Okay. Because the world will make it seem like, oh, well, he don't love his family, he don't love his children, and he really, no, man. We're serving the Lord to the best of our ability, because we love our children, we love our families, man. We want them ultimately to be passed over from the judgment that's getting ready to come to this earth, man. Anyone who tries to say the contrary is wicked and demonic, man. And they're evil. And see, that's what the world does, though. And it's going to come. That's going to happen. The scriptures talk about the persecution, man. But you got to have faith. You got to stand strong, man. Stand boldly for the names of the Lord, man. Because if they persecuted him, you know they're going to persecute you, as Yahushua told us, man. Think it not strange, man. All right. So I'll read that verse 19 and finish off verse through 20. Deuteronomy 30 and 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. Verse 20. That thou mayest love the Lord thy power, and that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life, and the length of thy days, that thou mayest dwell in the land which the Lord swear unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. You see? Salakia. Salakia. And so, as it said here, that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life, and the length of thy days, and that thou mayest dwell in the land, man. This is what the Messiah meant, Yahushua HaMashiach, when he said, they that shall gain their life shall lose it, and they that shall lose their life shall gain it. If you want to gain your life here in this world, you want to be a part of this world and live amongst live as one of, as one with everyone else in this world, then you're going to ultimately lose your life. But if you're willing and have faith to lose your life and lose the so-called opportunities and so-called relationships and things that you could acquire here in this life to serve the Lord, you're going to gain your life, man. The Lord is going to give you life. And this is the time that we're getting ready to come into, is that time of great tribulation, that temptation. Matter of fact, let's close out with that. Revelation 3 and 10. Okay? Because this is what's coming for those that keep the words of the Lord, man. That stay true to the Lord, that lose themselves in this world to gain the world to come. All right? Which is going to be the heaven of... it's going to be the kingdom of heaven on earth, man. As the Lord's prayer says, that let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Okay, so those that worship the Lord, that serve the Lord and stay faithful and endure unto the end, they're gonna be the first inheritors of the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so Revelation 3 and 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. You'll see the hour of temptation is going to be this time when the MLTB is going to be implemented. It's going to be pushed out on the earth. And you're going to be tempted to get it, because if not, how are you going to get food? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? How are you going to go here? How are you going to go there? You see, so this is that time of temptation that's getting ready to come upon the earth, man. And a lot of people are going to fold, man. It's been prophesied. A lot of people are going to get this get this mark and become a part of this new system and follow after the image of the beast and perish, man. And it's not, I'm not coming up with this. This is in the scriptures, man. So, hey, Lord's will was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachah Wadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, great millstone. Much blessings and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and its truth.